What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of The Shy Season 4, Episode 4, The Girl from Chicago, okay? So let's just get right up into it. So the episode starts out with, Tiffany getting her some brain or whatever. I said, oh, Tia, you letting your man get on this TV show doing all this shit? This what Corey be doing? Girl, let me stop. Corey was like, girl was like, listen. She said, oh, I'm about to. He said, no, not yet. I said, oh, you's a devil, bitch. You's a devil. Okay, we play those type of game, okay? You do it when I say do it. I likes that. You know what I'm saying? So he getting it in or whatever. Next thing you know, Emmett. This is my thing. Tiffany went over there to Dante's place, okay? Emmett brings a bitch home to the house. Okay, I don't like that. If we're gonna have an open relationship, an open marriage, or whatever, go to that bitch house. Go to that nigga place. Okay, let our sanctuary be our sanctuary where we do what we do at. Okay, that's what it is. At least have some type of respect, and then you can't even focus. Okay, and I'm sitting here like, wow. So Emmett really is kind of evolving or whatever, because obviously he truly do love Tiffany and feel bad about what he doing, because when the season first came on, or I should say the series first came on, Emmett was a damn hoe, okay? He used to be fucking on Keisha, fucking on this bitch, fucking on that bitch, fucking on that bitch, okay? Running in and out of houses, okay? With no feeling at all. He just needed to get his nut. And now he's feeling some type of way. I said, is this growth, or is this just, I don't know. Is this growth? Maybe. It could be, or it could be disguised as something else. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to grow the fuck up, all right? Meanwhile, we got Tracy waking up in Duda's bed, and he done gone because he the mayor. He got to go do what he got to do, and we find out where he gone. He gone down to the school to talk to the principal, but we'll get to that in a second. Girl, Tracy wake up. She come out, and Rose sitting down there at the table like, So you didn't finally did it, you didn't slept with the mayor of Chicago. So what you want with that? And she was like, bitch, what you mean? What do I get? Do I get some type of prize? She was like, girl, get out of here. I'm finna go, okay? She was like, I can't let you go. I said, excuse me, Candy. Now let me tell you something. Listen, this little line I was thinking about, I'm not gonna lie. My mind went to when you know season 9 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm sorry, it went there. And I was like, excuse me, sis, what are you doing? She said, let me clear this up. No, I'm not trying to kidnap you. Okay, I'm not trying to do nothing like that. But it's been a protest going on, this Blue Lives Matter shit, and apparently, I guess blue lives do matter because them motherfuckers surrounding the buildings, and then all of a sudden you hear the chants. And so she was like, damn. And I was like, Tracy, just sit your ass there. Okay, listen, you can chill out up in this motherfucker. Just be their third, okay? Because this is what you got yourself involved with, all right? I don't know. What's going to happen with that. This shit is so twisted. And I don't trust Rose. Ever since Rose came onto the scene, I never trusted her. Like, she's just so conniving. Like, I see why her and Duda are together and they work. But for other people, Rose just look like she's very, very calculated, okay? Meanwhile, we got Kevin and Nina and Dre in therapy, and shout out to the Shy for putting a black therapist with this black couple, this black family, okay? We don't see much of that, and we need to see more of that, and basically just trying to get to the bottom of why Kevin is doing what he's doing. Oh, putting it out there that he's an alcoholic, bitch. Let me just tell you something. Listen, the principal of the school, he said something to do that about people got scared of whooping their kids these days or whatever. That's what the white people, that's what we used to do back in the day until the white folks told us it's not good. We can't do that because we'll get charged and all that shit. Kevin needs his ass whooped. That's what he needs, okay? Kevin needs his ass whooped at this particular point, because I did not appreciate the fact that he is up there cursing and just being when it's therapy in front of your parents and stuff, including Dre, bitch, your stepmom. You know what I'm saying? I was just sitting here like, ooh, you just the disrespect that is coming off of Kevin, and the way that I feel like he's digressed instead of progressed. since season 1. And bitch, I blame Jason goddamn Mitchell, aka Brandon, because Brandon was a positive male influence on his life, and he needs another positive male influencer to come into his life and to take him under his wing, because he is searching and yearning for something, and he's going through a whole lot, and he can't talk to his mom, okay, for whatever reason. He feels like the mom, they being overbearing. Dre didn't have to put their business out there talking about something that they the whole family of alcoholics. Nina family comes from alcoholics and shit like that, because they said Kevin was turned into an alcoholic. All right, Kevin tried to deny it. He's young, he don't know the signs, but he trying to deny it. And she was like, Nina just popped back at her ass. Bitch, your family of alcoholics too and shit, so what you trying to say? Okay, they come from the same line, bitch. What you talking? I said, but technically speaking, yeah, Dre, but Dre ain't biologically his mom. So, hey, it is what it is. And, Kevin is just like, if they would get off my back, you know what I'm saying? And Nina had to reiterate the fact that she's always worried about her kids is because she almost lost her daughter last year. She literally almost lost her daughter last year, and she just gets that fear every time they go out the house. When she goes to work, that something is going to happen to them. And I won't want no type of parent or anybody to feel that way about anybody that they're associated with. I could not imagine how she feels, and Kevin don't understand that. And it was like, if they let up on you and give you just a slight bit more freedom, would you do your homework without being told? Would you do this and all this stuff? He had to pause and think about it, and then gonna say yes. And he literally said, "I'm thinking about it." I'm sitting here like, Kevin, I don't like this road that we going, okay? Because it's just not right. It's just not right. But then we get to the principal, and Jake and Gemma is in there. Dude is in there talking to the principal at school and basically trying to, get them from not being expelled. For her little program, putting Jake up on her program, talking about his situation. And I don't understand why it's such a big thing and why was it bad. The principal, whoever he was, said that it kind of incited some violence or whatever. And she was like, it ain't my fault. He was the one that got the violence incited against him. Okay. And it made me mad that the principal was talking like this. And because he was a black man, you would think. And I guess, because we got to follow protocol or whatever, regardless of skin color and all this stuff. But you would think he would sympathize a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it just didn't feel like he didn't care any which way. And I didn't feel like Gemma did anything wrong by having Jacob on her program. So they gonna punish her. Jake is not getting expelled or whatever, because Duda's down there. He worked out. But Emma's getting her program snatched away. They don't want to hear the truth. Meanwhile, Emma and Jake is getting real close. You know what I'm saying? He apologizing that all this stuff is happening to her, whatever. I'm sorry and all this shit. We gotta do this or whatever. I'm sitting here like, Meanwhile, Gemma, she want to break the system and do a little protest or whatever, walk out, doing third period. Kevin is like, I don't want to do this because, first of all, I'm just not getting my freedom back, okay? And second of all, if something happened to us, we ain't got no rich family that come out here and bail us out, like these spoiler rich kids. Bitch, at this point in time, Emmett and Kevin about to break up because, Kevin going through his stuff. He's not talking about it, and he's taking it out on everybody, okay? But Gemma is becoming annoying. And, she's so pro-black or whatever. Like, she wants stuff to be all about her, what she wants and how she sees things, that she's not willing to compromise on a lot of stuff. Kevin's not willing to compromise on some of her stuff. And it's just not going to work. And he keep calling her out on the flaws that he see in her, and we don't see her doing that to him, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. First of all, these are little kids, okay? These are little kids having grown ass problems. Meanwhile, we got Nook and that girl that was on there from last week with Imani's barbershop hair salon. They going to the store. He sent her in there to get whatever she needed to, and he was like, I'm gonna be watching you or whatever, hurry up. So Imani popped up in the store, on the sneak, trying to say, here, I got your basket or whatever, but meet me here. She was like, I can be able to get out at this certain time and all this shit. So basically, Imani is about to try to help her, break free from him. And I'm like, Imani, baby, like, I get it, But at the same time, I'm scared for her because Nook is crazy. He just looks crazy, all right? You know, y'all be putting out this little false narrative that some of these light skinned men that they be a little soft or whatever. Some of them motherfuckers is crazy as shit. They be the craziest ones, okay? I'm just gonna say that right then and there. I done seen some shit. Then we got Keisha. She meeting up with another couple, black couple, looking to adopt her baby. She gets right down to it because they was looking at some of the, and then we finally get to the realization that they have moved, okay, and where the move came from. They needed a change of scenery, so they moved, and they recently been up in that place, because they're in a house now. But anyway, they was looking at the little photo album. We find out that the couple has, a bunch of kids. The kids that they do have, they all adopted because, as Keisha said, so you tell all your kids that you adopted them. I mean, we don't just outright tell them, but they know where they come from and what's the situation is. Okay, so why is it that you have any more kids? Y'all can't have kids or whatever. I said, damn, Keisha, and it was like, nah, it's cool. The daddy was like, got low sperm count. The mama, she had ovarian cancer, so no, they can't conceive. And so, she was like, y'all think about adopting a, and how many more kids y'all want to adopt? And it was like, after your kid, this will be our last. And she was like, okay, cool. Now, it seemed like everything was vibing up until they was getting ready to leave. And she was like, I seen enough, y'all good or whatever. And the dad was like, well, see, you already on the right path. You took the Christian path right there. You did the right thing. And she was like, what you talking about? You didn't you didn't have an abortion, okay? Because she said, first of all, my decision not to have an abortion had nothing to do with God and had nothing to do with being a Christian or whatever. And he was like, it's always with God, okay? That's what it is. I said, oh Lord, the way that she said it, he said it or whatever, it was just so, it would have turned me off too. And I'm all here for pro-choice, and if whatever, it's pro-choice, and if you pro-life, that's what you about, but I'm pro-choice. I'm not gonna tell somebody what they should do and shouldn't do and shame them if they did something that I possibly wouldn't agree with or whatever, but you don't know the situation. And it just came off, I don't like that uber Christian, like that judgy type of Christian, like, and that's what they came off as. And I'm pretty sure they turned Keisha off at that moment. So we get Keisha and Tiffany. They hooked up, okay? Like, let me put that down. Okay, listen, it is so funny how they have come to become really good friends, okay? Because when we first saw Keisha and Tiffany interact, I remember when Keisha and no, when Tiffany and Emmy first got their that apartment that was down in the basement or whatever, and Tiffany came to the door all stank faced with Keisha, and Keisha like, I don't want your man or whatever. But now they good girlfriends and they can confide in each other, and she telling her about that couple and how basically she was turned off from. She was like, it's one thing about being Christian or whatever, but that uber Christian shit, as if they God and all this stuff, whatever, that's not what she here for, because she want her kids to be free, want them to make their own choices and stuff like that. And so, they get into the conversation of what's going on between Tiffany and Emmett and their whole situation, telling, Tiffany was telling Keisha, listen, you don't need to be a mama right now, because being a mother and being a parent is kind of hard, okay? And she was like, what's going on with you and Emmett? And so she was like, girl, we got this thing going on or whatever. And Emmett comes around the corner. He just looking like, what the fuck y'all talking about? She was like, girl, let me talk to you. Hold on a minute. Let me go talk to this nigga. So at this point, they going to back, and we found out that the girl that Emmett brought home is a girl. It's giving very much Jody tease from Baby Boy, okay? Because remember when that bitch was trying to fuck Jody, from Yvette's job, okay? That's what it was given, because Tiffany said, how come you gonna fuck Donna? You already knew that I couldn't stand that bitch. That's the bitch from my old job that I couldn't stand. He said, first of all, I didn't know that that's who that was. Second of all, how I'm supposed to avoid every bitch that you got a problem with, since you got a problem with everybody? And she said, bitch, why you bring that hoe up into our place, okay? That's our house, okay? You don't be doing that. We gotta set some ground rules. He said, damn, now you want to put rules. There's too many rules and all this shit. And I'm just like, listen, he don't want them fucking everybody else, the same person, because I guess Tiffany is just going back to Dante, okay? Because he like, now he's feeling insecure, and that's what it is. What is it about this nigga that keeps you going back and back and back, okay, for second, thirds, and fourths and shit like that? I said, damn, how long this shit been going on for this to be going on this much? So they just gotta set boundaries, and at this point, I just don't see it for Tiffany and Emmett. They hurt, they young, and they just, I know they're trying to figure it out and trying to work it out, and we go through problems, but they rushed into this, and that's why the foundation was shaky as fuck. As it is, okay? They didn't have a strong foundation when they got married and got together, and I don't know. It's just not gonna work. I don't see it working. I'm sorry. Moving on from that, we got Kevin and Gemma. Well, Kevin, after he didn't call Gemma a spoiled little rich girl, okay? He said you spoiled little black girl. Gemma feelings hurt. We got Jake and Gemma. They becoming closer in this cause because what happened to Jake. So now he's understanding Gemma a little bit more as to why she's so about the black folks and getting them justice and this revolution and stuff like this, and talking up against racism because he experienced it firsthand. So at this point in time, they putting out flyers in everybody's lockers about this walkout against racism and shit like that. And Kevin comes over asking, can he help? I said, oh, so we changing our tune a little bit. He was just like, she said, I thought you didn't want to get in trouble or whatever. And he was like, basically, he don't want to get in trouble, but he wants to be a part of it, but he just can't be on the front lines, okay? It was like, if we locked up or I'm in trouble, whatever, how can we start the revolution or the revolution get started, something like that, And at this point, it's kind of making Kevin look like he really don't care, but he's thinking more so about himself and not the bigger picture. But at this point, you can't really blame him. Don't blame him because Gemma has always been so gung-ho about pro-black this and fighting for this and that or whatever, and mostly I feel like it's because of the circumstances that she grew up into, so she feel like she got to prove that she's down and she understand the black cause, because she grew up in a wealthier situation than what most of the black folks that she's talking about have been in. That's what I get from her. Like, I get that, but at this point, they wanted to do the little walkout at 3:00 and it didn't even happen. Gemma and what's his name? Jake were the only one that got up. The little white girl was there. She said everybody else flaked or whatever. And Jake was like, fuck it. He pulled the fire alarm. And the little white girl, Dakota, said, go ahead, I'll be your white shield. I said, bitch. Bitch, what? They run out. She trying to figure out, so what do we do now? Do we go home? Jake like, nah, we don't go home. You got to go. You go home when we supposed to go home. So let's just go kick it. I said, oh, Lord. He finna introduce her to a fish sandwich. I said, you ain't know I had a fish sandwich, bitch? Not even cheap-ass fish fillet from goddamn, McDonald's, bitch. Oh my God. I said, this is not looking good. Jake and Gemma are getting closer and closer because now they're relating at this point. And Gemma looks like she likes this certain type of bad boy. It's always the good girls like the bad boys. That's what it is. It always happens. I don't know why. So, meanwhile, you got Keisha. She goes down there to see Tabitha. I can't remember what her name was in this. But she goes to her office, okay, to her building, to her place of work that she owns, okay? It's like a construction or architectural firm or whatever. That's what it is. And she talked to the secretary, the reception desk, and, she was in a meeting. And then she begins to talk to the receptionist and ask her a question like, what do you know about Tabitha and how do you feel about her? She was like, girl, who was you? She said, how long have you been working? She was like, what's your name? She was like, my name is Keisha. She was like, oh, okay. So obviously she knows enough about the situation to know to give rave reviews about Tabitha, and I feel as though she was saying the truth, and Tabitha looked like that in real life, okay? Like in real life, she's just really a good person. She was like, I've been here for 7 years, okay? And she really don't tell me much about her personal life or whatever, but she's always meeting me and greeting me with a smile. My father died. My mom didn't have enough money to pay for the funeral with the insurance and everything. She helped pay for it. I said, bitch, all right, come on, set the standard, okay? And so, Keisha went in there to talk to her, And at this point, she's admiring her work and asking her what type of builder she would be. She would be strong and sturdy. And they're connecting, okay? And after seeing that couple, I feel like she's just realizing that Tabitha really is the best person for her, regardless of the fact that she don't have, a spouse at this moment and she's going through what she's going through. It's okay, okay? I want her to be the parent to my child. Meanwhile, back at Duda, he up there. I guess this is for the gala that we're gonna see. That we started off in episode 1 when the episode first started off, and we saw that Duda got shot or whatever. It's something that's gonna happen. He wants Tracy there to speak on his behalf, okay? And Tracy was like, cause he got her all these type of fancy gifts and dresses and designers and shit and shoes or whatever. She was like, why you want me to speak? He was like, why you can't let your wife speak? He said, because my wife say good things about me to the press all the time. But I need somebody like you, a community leader, so that they can truly believe it, okay? And she was like, so you using me? And he said, I mean, you using me too. She said, what makes you think I'm using you? I said, oh my God, this flirty shit. Y'all need to chill out. Because even though Rose say she cool with this, I don't feel like she truly cool with it, especially since she not finna get nothing out of it. Plus, I feel like, Tracy finna catch feelings for this married man that ain't about to divorce his wife, okay? And I'm sitting here like, so what y'all finna be sister wives up in this bitch, okay? Seeking sister wives up in this hole. It is a lot. I said, I don't understand it, but all right, do what you gotta do, boo. Also, Imani was at the spot where she was supposed to meet up with old girl. She gave her a phone when she was up in the in the store, told her, she'll call her and let her know what's going on and all this stuff. And she was calling the girl, and the girl never answered. And Imani is worried at this point. I said, girl, I'm worried about you. So Kevin is over there at Papa's job at Smokey's, and basically, Papa want him to come on his little podcast or his little show or whatever, so that he can talk about what's going on with Gemma and somewhat try to win her back and all that stuff or whatever, because Kevin is in his feelings because Gemma has not responded back to him. He basically has been ghosted. He shows all the string of text that literally is just showing him sending her text and her no replies. And it was a long string, okay? Papa had to tell him, you're selfish, okay? You don't want to help me out. You don't want to be there for Jake. You don't want to be there for Gemma. You're just being real selfish at this point. And truth be told, he kind of is, okay? So leave it to Papa to put the truth out there and to get it through to Kevin. They get on his little Instagram live and, try to do stuff, whatever, get Kevin to get his girl back and, put a little public apology out there. Baby, the comments. Did you see the comments? Dude, so you a preacher now? What you Dr. Phil now? Stick to one platform. You ain't gonna get the girl back or whatever. Leave that nigga. I said, what is going Oh, it was so funny. I had to rewind to read the comments. But yeah, he was trying to get his little girl back. Meanwhile, Jake got her up at the little spot, another spot, eating a little fish sandwich, and she all amazed by how it tastes. Oh my God, it tastes so good. You know what I'm saying? So they talking or whatever, and he was like, oh, you got something on your face. And then she said, what? What? So she wiping her mouth. He was like, nah, I get it. Close your eyes. It's the eyelash. So he goes and take the eyelash off her cheek and then show it to her. She gets close to him and then blow it. She was like, I gotta make a wish. And then he was like, what you wish for? Next thing you know, she said, I hope it's the same thing I wish for. And they kiss. They like, I said, these little bitches. I'm sorry, these little young. Jake has already been hot in the ass, okay? He's been hot in the dick for a second. You know what I'm saying? Ever since he started getting cooch, But this little girl, wow. So you're having issues with your man, and so you just go ahead to his friend of all things? I said, what in the Nicki Minaj? No, what? You don't do that. You don't do that. That is not right. You don't understand. And my whole thing is, I'm pretty sure Gemma knew and saw what was going on, and I hope she knew about Kevin and the fact that he also had a gun pulled out on him. Was she trying to talk to him and he was just being closed off? Either way, I understand the fact that he's being closed off, but this is not a reason to go to his friend. If you're gonna cheat, go with somebody else, not his friend. Granted, I don't give a damn how old you are. You should know this. These fucking kids acting like grown ass people. And then here go Jay. Man, I thought you was gonna wish for something else. And she was like, slow down, nasty. He was like, no, talk about wishing that you would be my girl. I said, Jake, Kevin is still your boy. Y'all known each other longer than you known this bitch. I was bros before hoes. What's going on? I was so mad. I was so mad. They kissed again, whatever. She was like, I gotta get up and go to the bathroom. I said, oh my God, what is happening? These little kids are not about to stress me out. Meanwhile, Imani is just over it. The girl name is Trinity that she was trying to get. Okay, and she come up in the Tracy spot where Trig is working for the little, community service thing to police the neighborhood. And she go up there going off on Tracy like, you need to do something about that trap house and you ain't doing nothing, all this stuff. And she was like, yeah, we've been trying to get that trap house closed for years. Just because you don't actively see something physically being done don't mean that it hasn't been trying. No one hasn't been trying, okay, behind the scenes. And so, at this point, Trig come up, he pissed off because he was like, that's where you was last night. She was like, yeah, that's where I was, okay, and he was like, why you trying to help these girls? Them girls ain't that, they there by themselves. They on their own free will. And I'm sitting here like, how can you be so naive? If she is there on her own free will, she could have left on her own free will and Imani wouldn't be so involved. And I'm just sitting here like, Trig, come on now. You know how the game goes, okay? Most of them girls are not, no, 9 out of 10 of them girls are not there on their own free will because they wouldn't be putting up with the abuse and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So, of course, he had to go down there and confront Nook. And I was like, this ain't going to end well. I just don't see Nook just saying, Trinity, let's go. And if he do, I'd be surprised. And I'm going to be like, Trig, watch your back, okay? Because, I just feel like this ain't going to end well. Meanwhile, I should say, Keisha was still up there with Tabitha's character. And, they're talking and she was about to leave and she started having like a contraction or something like that so that she get rushed to the hospital. And at this point, the doctor comes in and basically says that it was Braxton Hicks, but they might want to induce labor because she has very high blood pressure. And Tabitha keeps on saying, well, how do you know? Tabitha is asking all of the questions, like the way that he came in and he was like, the patient. And Tabitha was like, the patient has a name, okay? He was like, I'm sorry, I just got a lot that was going on, okay? Whatever, still, you should at least address your patient by their name, okay? So show a little bit of concern and a little bit of humanity, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And I was glad that Tabitha was there asking these questions because we as black people and mostly black women, when it comes time to pregnancy things or whatever, we've seen so many cases and hear so many things about not being listened to, not being heard, and people just want to jump the gun to get you up out of there. And that's exactly what it felt like was happening with this doctor. Go on here, let's just get this done so we can get you out here or whatever. That's the only option at this point. And Tabitha was trying to see, can they get a second opinion or whatever. And Nina was like, you a doctor or something? She was like, no, but I've been through certain circumstances where I've lost kids because I didn't get a second opinion. I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And she was like, well, I'm sorry this triggered you, but Keisha just went on ahead and said, fuck it, just go ahead and get the maybe we should get induced. Meanwhile, Nina up there trying to call Dre. Dre is not answering her text messages. She got her phone turned off. She turned it off eventually. And I'm just like, this is not the way you do things. I understand Dre is trying to keep the secret for Jada that she has cancer and that she's helping her from Nina until Jada tells Emmett. But she could have said something to her. I feel like she could have said something to Nina, but even if she didn't have to turn her phone off. She could have been like, I'm running late or something like that to ease her mind, because now this is starting to have problems and bring unnecessary problems to her relationship. And granted, I understand you trying to be there for your friend, but you could have went about this, explaining things, making up a lie or whatever. Not necessarily a lie, just say I'm running late or whatever, I'll get back to you, instead of just turning your phone off and, just completely ignoring her calls. So at this point, Nina thinks some shit is going on because she needs her down at the hospital. Um, Jada finally said that she gonna go ahead and tell Emmett tomorrow, but Emmett had came over there earlier, later that day, and Sway was there, and he was pissed off that Sway was there. And come to find out, Jada is in the bathroom over the toilet, and she let the bomb go that, she has cancer. And the look on Emmett's face, baby, listen, I would have fell out if my mama come back and tell me that she got cancer. Listen, regardless of how I feel about that lady in a moment or whatever, when we get into it and all that shit, all of that will fucking dissipate, bitch. I will just... I am a big baby when it comes to certain people, believe it or not, and that's one of them. Okay, and if that was come back, baby, Ashley would be sick as shit. Okay, I'd be crying for days. I'd be crying for days. You want to be strong for him, but then I'd be crying. That's how it was when I found out my friend had got cancer, bitch. It fucked me up so bad because she's so young and oh my god. Let me stop. Moving on from that. Like, bitch, when I say I was crying for days, I was crying for days. Okay, but anyway, moving on from that. Speaking of Emmy and Tiffany, bitch, go ahead and break up. Because y'all up here trying to do the guidelines and boundaries and no fucking this bitch in my house. Don't fuck in the car. Okay, he don't want her fucking Dante. You know what I'm saying? She was like, well, he was here before the limitations got here, so I'm gonna continue to fuck him. She don't want him fucking random bitches without them knowing that he married. And the whole thing is, it's okay for men to fuck a whole bunch of women, but she had to play into it because unfortunately this is what society looks at. It's okay for men to have multiple women go dick this bitch down, dick this bitch down, dick this bitch down, but if a woman have multiple dudes, oh, she all types of whores. And that's exactly what she was leaning towards when she was saying why she just continues to fuck only Dante. But I'm pretty sure she's only fucking Dante for the simple fact that she likes Dante. Okay, she told Emmett to get you if you can't get a girl that don't want to fuck you, that it's okay with you being married, get you a white bitch. He said, I don't like white girls. Okay, not like that. I don't like them like that. All right, she said, well, you better get you a free spirited bitch or something. Okay. Meanwhile, Tiffany go over Dante's house and he roll up on her and they all like hugging and shit like they're a couple. I said, this bitch catching feelings, and I feel like he is too. Oh my god, it's a mess. This ain't gonna end well. So while in the hospital, before they jumped to a conclusion about going ahead and induce Keisha, since Tabitha already had some concern and she been through this stuff, she was like, what have you eaten today? And she was like, some corned beef and something else. And so she said, well, drink some water and then we'll have the doctor come back and check your blood pressure later. And so that's exactly what happened. And guess what? The blood pressure went down. Okay. So they didn't have to induce. Meanwhile, Dre is at home. Keisha decide to give it to Tabitha. She was like, people been telling me to, follow my gut or whatever. My gut keeps pointing to you. So she's going to give her baby to Tabitha. Meanwhile, Dre is at home and, fixing dinner, or she had brought dinner or whatever. And Nina came in and was like, this ain't your way of trying to make up. You had your phone off and all this stuff. Now, Dre came up with the excuse that, hey, I had a session and I have to keep my phone turned off during the session. And I forgot that she's like into this counseling for, I think, teens or something like that with the schools or something. So I don't know. She's somewhat counselor, some type of counselor, whatever. So of course, yes, she has sessions like that. And that is true. They keep their phones off and stuff like that. Moving on from that. Little Kevin was walking with some flowers and we thinking that he finna go give them to Gemma or something like that. He wind up bringing them to the house for the ladies of the house or whatever. Meanwhile, speaking of Gemma and Jake, they leaving the restaurant and Kevin was calling Gemma. Maybe the flowers were for Gemma, but yet Gemma just didn't answer her, and so answer him, and so he just decided to bring him to the family. But she was like, oh my god, Kevin's calling me, what are we gonna do about that? And the way Jake, when she said Kevin calling me, he was like, I said, hold up. Listen, Jake, I just knew Jake was gonna be a problem. I knew he was gonna be a problem from jump, but damn, I didn't know he was gonna do this. Okay, you already mad at the boy, then you claimed didn't have your back when you got beat up, but you gonna go back at him by getting with his girl. And he was like, I don't know, I ain't ever did this. You kissed me. She said, but you kissed me back. It was like, so what the fuck am I supposed to do? She turned around and walked away. He said, where you going? Your house the other way, your goofy head ass. I said, see? These little kids in these grown-up situations. Anyway, Emmy comes home to Tiffany, put the baby down, and sits down, and she was like, what's going on? You know, I can always tell when something wrong. He was like, why can't you always tell something wrong when it's wrong or whatever? And she was like, it's because we connected. They do love each other, but they didn't figure their issues out before they got together. And now they got old issues with new issues coming in. You know what I'm saying? And I do feel like they truly do care for each other and love each other, but sometimes that's not enough. You know, you got to fix things before you mask the problem and then make more. They're immature. That's what it is. And he just sat there and cried. I said, oh my God. I was sitting here tearing up at that part. I'm sorry, because I was just thinking about the whole thing, like what I would do and what I just said. It made me tear up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And it's something about men when they going through shit and they start crying. It just gets me. I don't know what that is, but it is, okay? Especially black men. Fuck. I was about to say, but especially black men. Because, you know, they say that they don't show their emotions and shit like that. But when they do, I be like, oh. Anyway, moving on from that. So, the episode ends with, what the episode end with? Trinity coming back over there to Imani's, and he has this solemn look on his face, and I just knew something wasn't right. I'm thinking he got his ass beat, so I'm looking for the bruises. I'm looking to see if he limping or whatever, but he didn't. He puts the phone on the table that Imani gave to Trinity, and he was like, you gave her this? And she was like, yeah. He said Nook had it the whole time. And she was like, okay, and he said they found Trinity body over there on Bishop. I said, oh my God. And so Imani is pissed and she's upset and she's crying and she don't want nothing to do with Trig right now. And it's understandable because you basically made it seem like these girls are being forced here to do this work, and they're not. It's called sex trafficking. They are being forced against their will, and it's like, let's go protect everybody else, but not these people, not these women who need our help as well. And probably a little bit more because they're being forced to do something. They're going through so much trauma each and every day, and now it's too late because now this girl, you could have helped her, and she's gone. I hated the fact that they ended the episode so heavy like that, but it was a good episode to me. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about it, and I will see y'all later. Peace. Oh, and one more thing before I completely end this. I was just about to end it, and it just came to me. Nina and Dre was in the bed asleep, right? You know what I'm saying? And Dre got a text message. Y'all be keeping y'all phones on vibrate in the night. Girl, I can't hear that shit. I be dead to sleep. When I finally go to sleep, I be dead to sleep. I ain't gonna hear no vibration. But anyway, Nina was already up just laying in the bed, and she went over there and she looked at her text message, and it was from Jada saying, thanks for keeping our secret. And now Nina think that Jada and Dre got something going on. I was like, oh no. This is all messed up. But yeah, this was a good episode. Officially, I will see you guys later. Peace.